You found the WMIX Saturday Sports Show on AM 940 and WMIXsports.com. Cared for by Crossroads Community Hospital. The Saturday Sports Show has been recognized by the Illinois Broadcasters Association as one of the top radio programs in the state. That means the very best mix of local sports content is right here. From the powerhouse on Broadway, the Saturday Sports Show starts now.
And good morning. Hard to believe it's a Saturday morning, but it's a beautiful Saturday morning in the King City. So glad to have you with us for the Saturday Sports Show on WMIX and WMIXsports.com today. It's cared for by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
It's what healthcare should be.
There we go. That's Danny Zawinski. I'm Chris Hugo. Avery Barton is with us in studio. Don't forget our WMIX Sports social media question of the week. We'll reveal it on air with our first guest of the day. That'll be Tim Holloway, Mount Vernon Rams baseball coach. It's already live on social media, so if you like us on Facebook, it's already there. If you don't like us on Facebook, find us, facebook.com/WMIX Sports, and go find the WMIX Sports social media question of the week. It's a dandy this week. You'll like it, at least if you are tech savvy. You don't even have to be tech savvy to be able to answer this question. You can be tech incompetent.
Yeah.
And still have a use for what we're talking about.
Yes. It's this day and age. The day and age question. We sit and look at ribbon boards all evening, you figure out things. So
True.
That's where it came from.
Yeah. Ribbon boards. Going back to the off-air conversation, there'd be a ton of those around, too, if I provided and had the scratch to do what we were talking about before.
That would work a lot better than hard signs.
Uh-huh.
Because you could update and change, and yeah, that's a good point.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Even if it's just in the WMIX Sports Mobile Studios, there would be a ribbon board.
The only problem with that at that level is there's volleyballs, kickballs, wiffle balls. You'd have to put a tarp or a cover.
If I have the scratch to buy it initially, I probably have the scratch to repair it.
Yeah, but if you got the scratch to get it, and you got the money, and you got all that, and all the slang terms, you're going to have to put something over to protect it because there's way too many people in and out of high school
I don't want
gyms.
to do what they do with like the class bells or the exit signs in some gyms, and that's have that wiry like metal covering it that gets bent very easily.
You'd have to put something on there, heavy curtain.
Yeah, it'd have to be something all stronger than that.
Yeah.
But we're glad to have you this morning, of course. We're going to be talking to some of your favorite coaches today. We'll talk with Tim Holloway. He is the man behind Mount Vernon Rams baseball. Lance Bolt leads Lady Rams softball. Of course, we'll talk with him as we do every week. We'll also get into Annie's softball and Orphans baseball with Mallory Colling and Matt Kottmeyer, respectively. We'll talk with Eric Widges. He is the athletic director at Waltonville. They have a big tournament going on today on both baseball and softball sides of the diamond, but also a big fundraiser today, an FFA fundraiser going on at Waltonville High School. We'll dig deeper into that with Eric Widges. Keith Welch, of course, he is the head coach of McLeansboro Foxes basketball, or Hamilton County Foxes basketball, if you will. They're having a big alumni game tonight. We'll talk about that with Keith. We'll also talk with John Shadowins, WMIX sports correspondent, except he's not in a correspondent role today. We're talking SVW track and field with Coach. That'll be coming up a little bit later on in the program. We hope you enjoyed today's program. Our Facebook.com/WMIX sports social media question is blowing up.
Yeah.
We hope you'll give us an answer and participate in the discussion. So far, there's an app already in the lead. Oh,
hang on. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So far, there's something in the lead already.
Wow. We have, what time is it now? It is 8:11. We've been on the show air 3 minutes. We have 6 responses. This question could break some records here as we move along this morning.
Yeah. Love it.
Don't ask us why.
It's funny. This is kind of, the social media question was kind of a refined idea that you had. The original, I think, off-topic question asked was Dan Mings asking which was his favorite Oreo, way back when. And, of course, he was in studio, so he got that weird look in his eye like he wanted to punch me for asking such a stupid question, like at the end of the interview. But I mean, it was all good after that.
Right.
Shared an embrace and moved on. But,
well, we're at that time of year where it all began, too.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah.
The very first WMIX Sports social media question came your way 2 years ago. Not this very weekend because it was on a different weekend.
Right,
of course, it's not this weekend either, but Easter weekend. Yeah, you're right.
It's the only question we've ever asked twice.
And probably the best answer we got out of that, it was just the passion that came out of Jeff Harrison, the then Lady Rams soccer coach and Rams soccer coach. I thought he had the best answer that weekend because it's like, this dude instantly gets it. But anyhow, a busy program coming your way today. We hope you'll stay tuned until 10 o'clock. We are here then. We're on WMIXsports.com, here on AM 940 as well. Again, until the 10 o'clock hour, we'll talk a bevy of high school and local sports. Don't forget, for a local scoreboard nightly, you can find one at WMIXsports.com. We venture out of the realm of things played with the ball and have scores from just about anything we can find, from the 618 even into the 217 on WMIXsports.com.
How are you going to play baseball, softball without a ball?
I'm just saying, we have scoring, team scores.
I was going to say, now hold on. I was like, wait a minute.
There's still soccer and tennis.
Unless there's something I don't know. Maybe something changed when I left the state last night and came back. I just wasn't sure.
No, I guess you could count track and field as a ball-like sport just because of the spherical object that they call the shot put. But no.
Nah.
So I just wanted to offer them some respect as well, because they had a big meet-up at Triad last night. We have the results from the Liddy.
That's a big meet, Triad.
Yeah, it is.
That's one of the big ones in the spring.
Saw Coach Weiss tweeting about it on Twitter yesterday during the Rams game at Beverly East. Rams got a big win yesterday. Of course, you heard it on WMIX and WMIXsports.com. A 7-2 win over the Belleville East Lancers, and got to the freshman pitcher early and chased him. Did a great job, of course, defensively yesterday, and it was just a great Ram effort. We'll talk about that with Tim Holloway coming up in just a moment here on the Saturday Sports Show. But don't forget, our WMIX Sports social media question of the week is live, Facebook.com/WMIX Sports. And don't forget also, as the text message comes in, hey, don't forget, the WMIX Easter egg hunt is today, the annual WMIX Easter egg hunt. That is at 4 o'clock. You can register at 3:30, so take the kiddies. Multiple age divisions will be available. So
what?
Yeah.
Is there a competition?
We have 4 classes, too.
Oh, my God. Is there a multiplier for kids of...
No.
Oh, okay.
Because this is a sacred holiday. Sacred holidays don't get the non-boundary multiplier.
So if you got a multiplier on kiddies... So, in other words, if a little kid walks up with a 5-gallon bag, 5-gallon bucket, you go, okay, you got to move up to Class 3A because...
Now, there are enforcers out there that prevent, like, your 12-year-old from mowing down a 5-year-old. They'll be in different classes or age groups anyhow. But Hugo will be out there manning things with the Easter Bunny, making sure that none of that goes down, even though I've never been to one yet. I've always had a game. This is like the first time since I've been employed. I went as a kid, I'm pretty sure, to a WMIX Easter egg
hunt. So many different people here. It could be Easter Bunny. It's funny. Had a thought.
The Easter Bunny will be at the Easter egg hunt today. 4 o'clock, it gets started. 3:30 is your registration out at Veterans Park. We hope you'll join us. We'll have some great prize bags.
Hop right to it
for the kids. We'll hop along at about 4 o'clock. It'll be fun. We hope you'll take the time to join us. Of course, you could be any age up into 12, 13-ish. There's information out there on this.
Hey, there'll be some big brother, little brother, big sister, little sister combinations.
Tag teams. There's gonna be some.
There'll be some combinations to get candy. Trust me.
And I know I think I get to help hide the eggs. So there's gonna be some that may never be found.
Yeah, that's not fun.
So.
Because the littler guys in the smaller classes, you got to throw it out there they can see it.
Oh, if I get the littlest, it'll be a blast.
Be lined up in the logo, WMIX out there for the kids to go pick up.
Yes. Everything. Or in a 9-4. Just a 9-4. Depends on how many eggs I have.
Yeah.
So looking forward to it. Hope you come out and join us. It should be a beautiful day. We'll be out there after the Heart Walk, which is going on right now. Of course, we're big time because we're on the sign out there at Veterans Park for the Easter egg hunt. So we're looking forward to that. Hope you'll join us a little bit later today. We hope Tim Holloway is going to be there for us at 8:15. We know he will. Actually, it's 8:15 now, so let's slip out for a quick break. We'll come back. We'll talk Rams baseball. The Rams are 2 games over 500 and on a bit of a roll with a 3-game winning streak. This is the Saturday Sports Show presented by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
It's what healthcare should be.
Back after these.
The health of your kidneys has a big impact on your overall health, affecting everything from your blood pressure to your bones. And if you ever have a kidney problem, Dr. Kangura is here to help. Dr. Kangura trained at the Mayo Clinic and specializes in conditions ranging from kidney stones and uncontrolled high blood pressure to chronic kidney disease. Dr. Kangura sees patients at Crossroads Specialty Clinic. For an appointment, call 618-241-9071.
America is a nation on wheels. Everyone has at least one automobile. We use them for shopping, work, everything we do. But they can be a threat. Some accidents can't be prevented. Your professional Pekin Insurance Agency, Page Insurance on Crownview and Mount Vernon, can help protect you from a large financial loss when an accident happens. Call Page Insurance today at 242-7000 about low-cost auto insurance from Pekin Insurance. Ask them about the many money-saving discounts that are available. Depend on your hometown professionals.
Pekin Insurance. Qualifications and rules apply. See institution for details. Bill, where are we going?
We're trying to find my ATM.
We just passed an ATM.
But that's not my ATM. I lose $4 if it's not my ATM.
Make any ATM your ATM. Introducing free Kasasa Checking with monthly rewards like cash and ATM fees back in your pocket. Visit trykasasa.com. KASASA.
Visit People's National Bank or peoplesnationalbank.com for your Kasasa Checking. Member FDIC.
The Chevrolet Open House event is going on now at Schmidt Chevrolet of Mount Vernon. The price you see is the price you pay. Save big on the full lineup of Chevrolet cars, trucks, SUVs, and crossovers. Save over $7,000 on the North American Truck of the Year, the Silverado. Get low lease payments on the all-new Chevy Impala, a Consumer Reports pick. But hurry, this is for a limited time only. Come to Schmidt Chevrolet of Mount Vernon, 3423 Broadway in Mount Vernon.
And we welcome you back. Saturday Sports Show, WMIX and WMIXSports.com. It's powered by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
It's what healthcare should be.
Our next guest team is on a 3-game winning streak. He is the head coach of Mount Vernon Rams baseball. He is Tim Holloway. Tim, good morning.
Good morning.
Pretty good week. We talked about it last week. Rams baseball having 4 quality contests this week, hoping to get 3, if not 4. Your team, of course, takes 3 out of the 4. 3-game winning streak, 2 games over 500 into today. And just a great performance, I thought, this week overall for Rams baseball in general.
Yes, we had a good week. You know, we had a tough loss early with Marion, but I was proud of the way the guys bounced back and really played well. The rest of the week, we had a couple wins over good quality teams in Carbondale and Beverly East. So, you know, the positive is, even though we came up short against Marion, we feel like we can compete with them, and we can compete with Carbondale. And you know, I think our guys gained some confidence this week, and then to go over and win at Beverly East is never an easy task. So, you know, I think we've won 6 out of 8. We're starting to get some good results and have some good things happen, and that's big.
Yesterday, Belleville East comes off a big loss to Edwardsville. You come off a big win against Carbondale at home. How much of concern was it jumping on the cheese, riding over to Belleville yesterday, and starting out maybe with a letdown before that game began?
Well, I felt pretty good, honestly. I knew that Beverly East had lost a 1-run game to Edwardsville, a 1-run game to O'Fallon. They had 2 conference games. Our guys are playing with a lot of enthusiasm right now, and I thought maybe we could catch them on the right day. They might have their dauber down a little bit. Those are hard, tough losses. You know, it's never easy. And, you know, we've been getting first a lot. We've been getting down early, but our guys scored in the first inning and just seemed to have the right mentality yesterday, and it was a good day for us.
Rewinding back to Tuesday against Marion, a game that is overshadowed by the fact it was a 1-0 loss, but Tyler Morgan only allowed 3 hits in the game. The rest of the team defensively played very well. It was just one lone at-bat in the top of the first that won it for the Wildcats. What do you tell a team after a game like that in which they played well but came up on the short end of the stick? I mean, what's the attitude after the game for them, and how do you get them to bounce back like they did against West Frankfort?
Well, you know, kids are resilient, and I shouldn't call them kids. These young guys are resilient, but you know, it's a tough loss. It eats at you, and you want to better yourself the next day, and I think that's human nature. But the pitching and defense have to be there. You know, if we don't have that, we don't have a chance against good teams. So the positive is, and once again yesterday, man, we had some great defensive plays. We're making the routine plays. So the pitching and defense was great against Marion. We know what our weaknesses are. We're improving those. I thought we consistently had better at-bats throughout the week, and we're looking for quality bats. It's not about average. You know, that will take care of itself, but our on-base percentage is almost 400 at the team. It's in the 380s. So, you know, the batting average can be a little deceiving. I look more at on-base percentage, and we did have 13 hits yesterday, so we had some guys coming through, and once we get that going, 1 through 9, I think we can be a tough team to beat.
Looking at this week, you mentioned pitching. I thought Wednesday was important because you had a guy go 7 innings, believe a complete game win, a non-conference game at West Frankfort. How huge, name your guy, and how huge that was to get a guy to eat up some innings heading into 2 big games Thursday and Friday?
Well, we needed a win that day, coming off the loss. And Blake Jones is a guy that has 3 pitches, and he works quick. He's athletic on the mound. He fields the ball well. He had a lot of assists that day, and he gave us just what we needed. That was a huge boost. Breaking ball was over, and that's going to be the key. Our guys, we want to work quick. We want them to get 3 pitches over, at least 2. It's hard with a good varsity team to live on 1 pitch. Some days you don't have it. You got to battle like Brock did against Carbondale. But Blake did a good job keeping the ball down the zone. And, Brock battled on Thursday with the win and basically 1 pitch. And then Sam Stormont did a great job yesterday of throwing strikes and doing what we needed to do on the mound.
Well, and Sam Stormont yesterday I thought was kind of thrust into an awkward role. Started out the game, if I remember right, in left field, some sort of injury. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what happened to Braden Smith at third base, but he had to come out after tagging a runner out at home plate. And so then he went to third base and then had to go in and pitch after all of that. I thought Sam Stormont yesterday did a phenomenal job just of being thrust into different roles and being successful in every one of them.
Unbelievable job by Sam. It started out with Braden Smith makes a great play. Gets the guy hung up at third, chase him down. He dives to tag him. Unfortunately, when he did that, his metal cleats caught Braden in the face. So we had to drop him off the bus at Express Care last night. He got stitched up, cut on his nose, stitches in his chin. His finger got stitched up. So the man made a great play there. That was the first out. And then Sam comes in. They've already got 2 on us. Bases loaded, 1 out. He goes 3-0 in the count, and then he gets the ball hit to Reed where we get the double play. So, to hold them to no runs for 6 2/3 innings against a good hitting ball club was just a phenomenal effort.
Your team has been young, and it's been growing up right before our eyes all season. Next week, they about to grow up really quick. All road games next week at Althoff, at Cahokia, and these 3 games in Kentucky. This is a time where if they haven't grown up yet, they're going to grow up one way or another next week, aren't they?
Well, people keep saying young and this and that. We're not going to make any excuses. They're ready to go. There's a little physically they're ready. They know where to be in the right spots coming into the season. Our JV coaches do a good job. I think mentally just understanding, hey, this is a little bit different breaking stuff, and I belong here. And I think that's the biggest challenge early. But we're a few weeks in. They're playing confident, so there's no more young stuff. It's going to be another challenging week, and that's the way we like it. We got at Althoff. We have another conference game with Cahokia, and then we're going to go take an overnight trip to Paducah and play some good competition with Bartlett, Tennessee, and Memphis University High, and Henderson County, Kentucky. And I believe Henderson was in the Final Four in Kentucky last year, and the same with Bartlett. They're always good, and obviously Memphis is good. So it will be another good, challenging week. And the thing is, if you do play well like we did yesterday against the East, that can give you a big boost of confidence. And you grow through tough challenges and even adversity at times, and that's what we're looking forward to.
So I promise from now on, as of April 12th, I will not mention the word young or inexperienced with this group the rest of the time.
Well, hey, Danny, I didn't mean to give you a hard time about that. You can say it all you want.
Nope.
I'm just not going to talk.
No, I'm done. There will not be. They've played a month. They're used to it. The young and inexperienced will drop. It'll be veteran, grizzled guys ready to
There you go.
And coming off of that, it really looks like defensively, this is a team that has really found their rhythm. Your middle infield, we knew that coming in that they would be very, very good. They've seemed to have found a rhythm. Blake Jones, oh my gosh, probably made the play of the year yesterday in center field. But it seems like everybody has kind of started to come into the fold and starting to gel defensively to where it allows your pitchers to maybe relax a little bit more out there on the mound.
Yeah, well, as you know, it all starts on the mound, and the guys are throwing strikes for the most part. And then it starts the second most important thing is your catcher. And Thomas Weber has improved immensely in his blocking. And our guys can get breaking balls in the dirt and don't have to worry about a thing because he's doing a good job of that. He's doing a good job of his receiving. And then if you look around our infield, Jake Pike has done a great job back at first base. Our middle infield has good hands and loves to play, and they got a lot of energy out there. And Derek Hayes has been exceptional at third base. In our outfield, of course, Blake covers a lot of ground, and he's made, you think about that play in the Carbondale game where he ran forever and sticks the glove up the last second, makes a great play. And then the one yesterday was, that surprised me. I thought that ball was down, no question, and he kept going, and he's got some quickness and a pretty good feel out there. So, you have to have that. If you don't have defense, you can hit all you want, but you've got to be able to throw strikes and stop people. So that is a positive, and a fundamentally sound team will have a chance to win. You may not win them all, but at least those guys are going to give us a chance to win. Okay, here we go. Our final question. You know how this works. And we're kind of worried about this question. We don't know what we're going to get out of you. Bring it. Okay. This week's question is, what app do you use the most? What app? What app? You know what? That's an easy one for me. Every morning, go downstairs, not a hard workout, but I get a little bit in, and I've got the Pandora on, the free Pandora app. So, is that considered an app? Yeah. Okay. That's an application. That'll work. Okay, little Def Leppard radio or Pearl Jam radio, something like that. It's on about every morning. Perfect. Of course, and a great week coming up for Rams baseball, Tim. We wish the Rams the best luck. We'll be there every step of the way. All right, guys. Thanks a lot for covering us. That is Tim Holloway, and his Rams right now are 8-6-1, 2 games over 500 in the midst of a 3-game winning streak, and a tough week coming up on the road at Althoff, on the road at Cahokia, and then the trip to Kentucky. Speaking of which, we'll go ahead and tell you now that due to the Easter holiday as well as Rams baseball in Paducah next week, and because of how the times work out, there will be no Saturday sports show next Saturday. So no sports show next Saturday. This is weird for us. We know it's weird for you, but it's entirely unusual for us. I think Christmas Day and New Year's Day that one year, the only times I can remember taking an actual show off, like not on air. So, right. But we'll return back and better than ever, as they say. I guess on April the 26th will be the next show. Somebody says that. Yeah. Unlike them, it's true for us. But anyhow, we'll be back on Saturday. A little cocky this morning, a little confident, but sometimes that works out for us. Well, yeah. There we go. A little bit of swagger never hurt anybody. So yeah, that word's copyrighted too. Well, you know what? There's not much you could say. No, there's not much left. We do need to take a break here on your Saturday sports show. When we come back, we'll talk with Lance Bolt. He is the head coach of the Mount Vernon Lady Rams softball team. We'll talk with him about their week and their week coming up on WMIX and WMIXsports.com. It's presented by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital. It's what healthcare should be. Back after these.
Whether it's Mother Nature's inability to decide on a season, a weekend that got a little out of hand, or just life, there's always something looking to damage your vehicle. This is Chase Landers from Landers Collision Centers. Maybe winter weather turned your full-size sedan into a compact, or a little hail has your truck looking like Swiss cheese. Perhaps a deer decided to go for a ride on your hood, or maybe your truck is missing its hitch and bumper after pulling your little brother out of the ditch last weekend. Did a bad breakup leave a little graffiti on your SUV? We hope not, but we've seen it all, and we certainly don't judge. Whatever mess life has created for your vehicle, we'll clean it up. As a direct repair facility for many insurance companies, we take care of just about everything, even getting you into a temporary vehicle while we restore yours. That's the Landers difference. Top to bottom, big or small, Landers fixes them all. Come see us in Mount Vernon and Salem and ask us about free detailing for the life of your vehicle. Or call 1-888-LANDERS. That's 1-888-LANDERS.
Your spine is a miracle of engineering, so when pain strikes, your body is telling you to get help fast. The Orthopedic Center of Southern Illinois is proud to feature their spine care team. Doctors Kowalski and Smith, the professionals at Orthopedic Center, specialize in back and neck pain. So put our spine care team on the job. Find out more online at orthocenter-si.com. Stop the pain, fix the problem, and enjoy life again. The Orthopedic Center of Southern Illinois.
Hi, this is Joe David Cummins, President of Community First Bank. Now is a great time to move your account to Community First Bank. With our new One account offering the highest interest rate in the market, free checking, and CD specials delivered by people you know and trust, why would you not bank with the market leader in Jefferson County? We offer 5 locations with 7 ATMs and have been serving the Jefferson County market since 1906. Stop in and see why our bank is the fastest growing bank in Jefferson County. Community First Bank. Welcome back to Personal Banking. Member FDIC.
We welcome you back to the Saturday Sports Show on WMIX and WMIXSports.com. It's presented by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
It's what healthcare should be.
Our next guest to the program is the head coach of Lady Rams softball, Lance Bolt. Coach, good morning.
Good morning, guys.
You know, it's a week where you were able to get some games in. I know you lost Tuesday, of course, due to the weather against Marion, that to be made up on April the 29th. But you were able to get a game in, of course, an unscheduled game against Harrisburg, come back against Carbondale, of course, on Thursday. And so a week for the Lady Rams, a tough week, but good competition to make them better.
Yeah, that's right. Actually, I want to thank you, Chris, for getting us that game on Wednesday. We had the opportunity to play Harrisburg. You know, we were off for 8 days. I thought it'd be a good opportunity to get, prepare for Carbondale. And Harrisburg's a good team. They got a great young pitcher down there who's signed a Division I scholarship with University of Tennessee at Martin, where Kenzie Tate's at. And she's probably one of the better pitchers we'll see this year. And they beat us 6-0, and I thought we competed. We made it a good game, but yeah, she's definitely the real deal. And then, if nothing else, I thought that would prepare us for Carbondale. And Carbondale is just one of those teams that they just do everything that's the little things you don't see all the time. They just are so good at those things, and they capitalize on all of our mistakes. And we made some mistakes, and they made the most of them. And they beat us 9-0, and I tip my cap to them. And the thing about us, though, I thought we battled every inning of that game. It's just we gave them 4 or 5 outs per inning, and you just can't give a team like Carbondale 4 or 5 outs.
Well, and of course, taking a look at your conference schedule, losing that game with Marion, then having Carbondale, 2 tough back-to-back games. Then you go 2 outs off on Tuesday, which replaces Mater Dei, at Cahokia on Thursday, and then a tough. It says on the schedule doubleheader. I remember talking about whether that was going to be 1 game or 2 with you, but then you go to Nashville, of course, on Saturday. Much like your boy counterparts, the Rams, you guys are on the road all next week as well. So a tough week for Lady Rams softball, but a week that'll definitely make you better with road games. Right.
Tuesday's game with Althoff, that's an important game. We really need to come ready to play. They're young. They're a lot like us. But, they got good, young, solid players and good, young pitching. And so if we don't come ready to play, Tuesday's a real important game for us. And then, yeah, like you said, we have Cahokia. And, but, the way I look at it, these young girls that we have, this has been a great opportunity, especially for our freshmen who are getting to play so much, and our sophomores, to mature at the varsity level as opposed to the JV level. And, I think that'll only benefit us down the road in the future. Of course, that means we're going to take our hits a little bit, and we're going to do some things that leave people shaking their heads at times, but it's a great opportunity for us.
Well, and since I've seen you at Albany, of course, that game, Lauren Heintzman and Jasmine Hawkins really stepped up as far as girls that may not have had a lot of experience playing prior to that. Who are some of the other girls who have stepped up since then as far as underclassmen?
Well, we've got Danielle Barshevsky. She's thrown the most innings of any of our pitchers so far this year. She's a freshman. We've got Bria Meyer, who's stepped up, and she leads our team in the ERA. She's a freshman, and she's been playing shortstop a little bit for us. Those are 2 freshmen who have really done a good job. And Jordan Bauer is another freshman who's got about 9 or 10 at-bats so far this year and had some opportunities. So just at the freshman level, we're playing 4 of those girls and then several sophomores as well. And like I said, this is just a great opportunity for them. It is at a bigger stage, but you have to do what you have to do right now, and we've got to find ways to win ball games, and they're good young players. But it's not easy when you're a freshman just to step up and get a lot of at bats and playing time at the varsity level, especially against the competition that Mount Vernon faces. But I think it's good for them.
This is the heart of the schedule, as you mentioned. You're going to find out a lot, whether they're young or old on your team. Next week's no easy cake either. After you get through the conference, 2 games next week in Nashville, more conference and the West Frankfort tournament the week after that. I mean, it's a lot of game, a lot of time. You're going to learn about your team as you head into May.
Right. This is a good stretch for us to see really, what kind of season is this going to be? Are we going to keep going down this road of losing 2 or 3 games a week, or we're going to get some wins because I think there's some games in here where we can compete and surprise some people, but these next couple of weeks are really important for us.
Final question for you is our WMIX Sports Social Media Question of the Week, and we know you can answer this one, is what app do you use the most?
What app? Well, I got, let's see, my big one, if I want to get the news, I got my Fox News app, and if I want to see what's going on in the sports world, I got my ESPN app. Those are probably the 2 biggest ones. I'm not the biggest app person, but those are the 2 that I use the most.
Perfect. Stay informed, and, of course, always know what's going on. And you do a great job of keeping us informed with Lady Rams softball. Lance, we appreciate you taking the time out for us each and every week here on the Saturday Sports Show.
All right. Thanks, guys.
That's Lance Bolt, head coach of Lady Rams softball. Again, they go to Althoff on Tuesday. That replaces the Mater Dei game. If you happen to have a schedule in front of you, it'll be Althoff instead. That's a conference rain date, so that takes precedence. It supersedes any other scheduling. So both Rams and Lady Rams will head to Althoff Tuesday. They will both head to Cahokia on Thursday. Lady Rams will go to Nashville on Saturday, so they have a tough week in front of them, and then continue on the road the following week against the Annies of Centralia on the 22nd. Speaking of which, that's our next guest. She's Mallory Colleen, head coach of Annies softball. We'll talk with her after the break on the Saturday Sports Show, presented by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
It's what healthcare should be.
Back after these.
A digestive problem can affect every area of your life. But now there's a specialist right here in town who focuses on digestive health. Mayo Clinic trained Dr. Tegpal Atwal has opened the only gastroenterology clinic in Mount Vernon. Dr. Atwal treats acid reflux, gallbladder problems, inflammatory bowel disease, ulcers, and more. For your appointment with Dr. Atwal at Crossroads Specialty Clinic, call 618-241-9071.
You can count on us. Yes, you can.
Chrysler continues to raise the bar with huge incentives. Hi, Roy Schmidt, Chrysler dealer at King City Chrysler Center, Mount Vernon. Chrysler is offering a $3,000 rebate on all new 2014 Dodge Avengers, plus an additional $500 when you finance through Chrysler Capital. That's $3,500 in incentives on the all-new 2014 Dodge Avenger. Bring in your trade, even if you owe $9,000 more than it's worth. Our finance department will get to work for you and find the best rate and payment possible. Come talk to one of our sales associates and see how you can drive away in one of our over 25 in-stock 2014 Dodge Avengers. We are at King City Chrysler Center, 1603 Broadway in Mount Vernon, Illinois, or browse our inventory at kingcitychryslercenter.com.
Welcome back, Saturday Sports Show, WMIX, WMIXSports.com. It's powered by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
It's what healthcare should be.
That's Danny Zerwinski. I'm Chris Shuko. Avery Barton is in studio with us as well, but I'm not sure with some of the bump selections today for how much longer, but we'll find out.
Billy Joel, man, come on, help a brother out.
Just because you went to a concert doesn't mean we can do every bump.
I gave you a week advance notice last week, and that didn't work. So.
It doesn't work. Of course, what does work are some of the guests we have on. We're glad to have Mallory Colleen, head coach of Centralia Annies softball, back on the program. Coach, good morning.
Good morning.
First of all, congratulations. Of course, in the offseason, you gave birth to a beautiful daughter, so congratulations on that.
Thank you very much.
And now you join us, of course, if I'm not mistaken, your team is 3-1 on the year. Have lost quite a few games due to the weather, unfortunately, but you've won some great contests along the way. West Frankfort, of course, who's better this year. You beat Salem in a team effort. I think a no-hitter against Cahokia. So things seem to be starting off pretty well for Annies softball.
They have, and you're right, the weather definitely has not worked out in our favor at all. I mean, Jordan Hardy is from Nashville. He's a cousin of mine, and I said, well, Jordan, the Annies are 1-1. He said, well, the Hornets are 9-2. Well, that sounds a lot better than us. It just has not gone our way.
You look at that, and you talk about other teams having 10, 11, 12 games in. Mentally for your team, how tough has it been for them knowing everybody else is playing, but they're not getting in as many games as everybody else?
Well, mentally, I can tell you that they're tired of practice. You you can only do so much. They're tired of coming and doing the same types of things. So when we played Salem had 5 games on us in the season too, and we had that discussion that they'd had plenty of time to iron out a lot of their mistakes, while we're still, we haven't really even had the same lineup every game yet. So it is a mental game right now, wondering if you're going to have your spot and if you're earning your position yet or not, because playing 4 games you haven't really been able to prove anything for those few people that are fighting for a position right now.
Of course, you go into next week, and you have not only a game every day except for Saturday next week, but then you go into the following week, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday. A nice stretch for the Annies with a few conference games blended in. You have a doubleheader, I believe, with Collinsville as well. O'Fallon on the schedule that time. A tough but nice test for Annies softball coming into next week and the week after.
Absolutely. We have Carbondale's going to be our conference game on Tuesday, and I know that they have been, from what I understand, just absolutely. Well, they always have a great offensive team, and this year's no different. They've been swinging the bats really well. And, Collinsville as a doubleheader last year actually was a pretty big marathon with Collinsville. It was about 12 degrees outside, and we ended up playing, I think the end of the game was like 9:30 or 10 o'clock, because the final score was 17-15. So, that's the second game. It was awful, but it's always a good competition, too, going into the season, especially right around the same time we play O'Fallon. So we like playing those tough games in there to check to see where we're at as far as our capabilities.
4 games into this season, talk about some of the kids that you are looking to lead your team once you're able to get out there and get going on an everyday basis.
Reagan Schwartz, this is her senior year, and she's led off every game. That basically, I think she started every game except for one. She had a little bit of an injury that kept her out of one game, but other than that, she's been our leadoff hitter for 4 years now. And the Sam Cameron, our catcher, she's back, and I mean, she's a finesse hitter. She's one that when there's runners on base, I mean, she's going to pick them up. Is what I'm thinking we're going to get out of her. She's a great RBI hitter. And she's one that can hit the long ball, but she also can go for base hits, too, whenever we need it. We have a few seniors coming back. Abby Holtkamp, she played first base for us, another big hitter. Wendy Lockwood is one that has provided a lot of defense for us. And we also have Ellie Wells, who started 4 years for us also, and our shortstop, and she's just a pretty good leader on the infield. Other than we pretty well have, of my 10 starters last year, I have 9 returning this year. So all of my pitchers are back. So I think we're looking at a lot of things out of all of them. Montana Howell and Jessica Feig are 2 pitchers, and they have complemented each other. Just in our 4 games, they've each gotten a win and a save with each other. So I think that they're definitely going to work out, helping each other out if we're in trouble.
Well, and of course, taking a look, the postseason assignments were finally released by the IHSA once they filled out all the hosts.
Just a little late.
You guys, of course, since the classes have been a little bit more balanced, 25-25-25 split, have separated from the South 7. Do you prefer to be away from all of your conference teams come regional time?
I talked to a couple conference coaches about it, and there's obviously pros and cons of both. You know who you're going against whenever you're playing your conference teams, and you know what to expect. But obviously, they know what to expect out of you too. There really aren't any secrets. But when you go into playing other teams, you don't have that advantage of knowing, but they don't have the advantage of knowing about you either. So there are pros and cons. I think it mentally, you just kind of have to prepare a little bit differently. You have to go in. If it's a conference game, I think sometimes if our girls have been unsuccessful against a pitcher or something that's kind of in their head, whereas if you go up against a pitcher you haven't seen before, you kind of go up with a clean slate and expecting to hit. So I really didn't answer your question as far as which I prefer, but last year I did like going up against a couple teams that we hadn't seen before.
So when all this rain's going on, is there just a little temptation when you can't get on the softball diamond to go down to the football field and use it?
We have. That is, I definitely use that connection to help us out. I know that grass, it's at Bermuda, so it's weeds. I don't have to worry about tearing it up too much. And if it does get torn up too much, I don't think the coach is going to say a whole lot to me if it doesn't go the way that he likes it. But, yeah, we've used it a couple times. Actually, we used it several times last year, but we've been down there a couple times this year, too.
I figured rent would be cheap, so I didn't figure you'd have any problems going down there and using it.
Uh-huh.
Hey, our final question.
Sure.
Yeah, our final question for you is, and we have had a lot of fun with already this morning, is our social media question of the week. And this week's question is, what app do you use the most?
Oh, goodness. Well, actually, right now we have a scorekeeping app on our iPad, so that one has been open quite a few times, even though it's 4 games. It's definitely been used because we're still learning how to use it. That, and I would say Twitter. The Centralia Annies have their own Twitter account, so those two have been frequently used.
And thank you for following us on Twitter, by the way, with that Annie's account. We appreciate that.
Hey, no problem. Thanks for following us.
You betcha. And, of course, thank you for taking the time out for us this morning. I know next week is a busy one. Good luck to the Annies.
Thank you very much.
That's Mallory Colleen, head coach of the Centralia Annies. Almost said Ruggles. Almost. Did not.
Almost. I figured the rent on the softball field would be cheap. Or football field would be cheap. Softball, too, if you coach it. So football field would be cheap, and there's really, that's that's a pretty good little field to do a lot of things on. I know it's grass, but, man, it's well kept.
There's going to be a lot of wins in that family when it's all said and done. I will tell you that right now, by the time that is all said and done. We, let's see, need to take a break. When we come back, we will switch gears and go to the boys' side of Centralia High School. We'll talk Orphans baseball with Matt Kottmeyer here on the Saturday Sports Show presented by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
It's what health care should be.
Back after these.
I'm Jeremy Pearson with a look at your next rad weather. It will be breezy and warm today with a blend of clouds and sunshine, high 78. Mostly cloudy, breezy and mild tonight, low 60. Mostly cloudy and windy tomorrow with a shower or thunderstorm around in the afternoon, high 76. And Monday will be mostly cloudy and cooler with a couple of showers likely throughout the day, high 54. Next rad weather from WMIX, Mount Vernon, Illinois.
Registration for summer classes at Rindley College is going on now. The 8-week summer term is a great chance to catch up on classes you need, from general education to electives and more. Curious about starting college or even a little nervous? Summer is a good time for new students to find out what Rindley College can do for you. Registration for summer classes continues through June 6th. Call us at 618-437-5321 or find us online at rlc.edu. Rindley College, your journey starts here.
Mount Vernon is home to many wonderful people and things, and that includes quality cardiac care from Dr. Ruzaik Ibrahim. A skilled cardiologist, Dr. Ibrahim's training and scientific accomplishments have earned his designation as a Fellow of the American College of Cardiology. His services range from preventative care to the treatment of advanced heart conditions. For an appointment with Dr. Ibrahim at Crossroads Specialty Clinic, call 241-9071 or visit in person at 4113 South Water Tower, Mount Vernon.
And welcome back, Saturday Sports Show, WMIX. WMIXsports.com is presented by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
It's what healthcare should be.
Don't forget, of course, our WMIX Sports social media question of the week. Working at catching up with Matt Kottmeyer, head coach of Centralia Orphans Baseball. And the Orphans off to an auspicious start, having some competitive contests along the way, relying on a great nucleus that they have returning. Among them, if you had to define a leader, would probably be a guy who follows us on Twitter, Mason McReekin, who feels like he has been there for the better part of 10 years. The McReekins it's a popular surname in the South. 7, of course, Mason and Bro and Centralia, and then Corbin down there in Marion. But for the Orphans, they're a team, of course, off to a nice start, and Matt Kottmeyer has his team playing great baseball right now. Of course, on the schedule, they start with Mascoutah. Mascoutah's a great team that stumbled a couple of times as of late, losing to Carbondale yesterday. They play Heron, Salem, of course, Belleville West, Central. I think they got it in before getting rained on. I know the Nashville game has been rescheduled, the Florida game rescheduled. They did get one in against Althoff, but got a no-hitter from Josh Nunnery on Thursday against the Cahokia Comanches and won that one. And they, too, have a busy week coming up this Easter week when they will play Collinsville, Carbondale, Mater Dei, and Marion. So,
Centralia baseball is pretty good. I mean, I like what Matt Kottmeyer's done his reign there as Centralia coach, and I think what he's done is build up a program, and it's a great facility out there as well. They get to play in, hosted a sectional, and things are rolling. They got a busy week this week. You're talking about Collinsville, Carbondale, Mater Dei, Marion, and Carlisle. That's a pretty good mix of conference, a 4A non-conference game, and then a 2A non-conference game. Interesting thing, though, is Centralia, they do play local schools, and they play North Clay and Odin. And then also they have their what I think is starting to become one of the better baseball tournaments in Southern Illinois in high school. They host one on Friday and Saturday, May 2nd and May 3rd. That one there has a lot of teams, a lot of good mix of teams around Southern Illinois and maybe towards central Southern Illinois that are in this tournament. That's a great tournament to go watch.
Well, and I think when you look at that tournament, what team do you see that comes down and may not be the team that they have been in the past, but South Central. And I mean, you throw out classes when you talk about the South Central Cougars baseball team and the talent that they bring. I mean, have sent so many to a higher level. The most recent, of course, would probably be Spencer Patton, who's now with the Omaha Storm Chasers, a AAA affiliate of the Kansas City Royals. He's looking for a cup of coffee sometime soon, but a great tournament, and they host that May 2nd and 3rd. And then, of course, we'll see the Orphans live and in person at Centralia on April the 22nd, so not this Tuesday, but the Tuesday after, when we'll get to catch up with the Orphans and get to see what they're all about here in 2014. And you take a look at some of the teams they've had and how many epic battles there have been between Mount Vernon and Centralia in the postseason. Last year they met in a regional title game. It lasted all of about an hour and 2 minutes. Years prior to that, they've met in sectional semifinals, but regional championships and regionals alike, when those two teams are together, you really can throw out the records in the postseason. But the Rams have pretty well, I don't want to say dominated the series since about 2009, but the Orphans haven't had quite the easiest time figuring out the Rams since 2009 in the season series. So we'll see what happens.
Seems like the Rams have always had something going on, and one of those things that you eventually, with rivalries and whatnot, you do what you can, do what you not, and I think you're going to see at least two very competitive, very close games. What the hope is from the baseball fan standpoint, you could see Mason McCreakin versus Brock Fulkerson a couple more times before that rivalry ends in those uniforms.
Well, and exactly. And when you take a look at Orphans baseball, I mean, there's quite a few guys. You're going to see Ryan Miller. He's had some success on the hill this year. Ryan Shipley, a middle infielder, of course, who follows us on Twitter, at least should still. You can follow us too.
Shipley, Schwartz from softball, and McCreakin baseball. Yeah. They've been there 32 years. Well,
and McCreakin was kind of like the little brother, I think, that played older. You know what I mean? And just has that type of mentality. But, you talk about Ryan Shipley. Josh Nunnery's a guy you might hear from on the mound some, but see some time in the outfield. I'm trying to think of other names I can remember off the top of my head. C.J. Berry is one. I think Dustin Day is doing the catching this year, if I remember seeing the last lineup card that I saw to try to do some prep. But, but when you take a look at their coaching staff, Matt Kottmeyer, Todd Bauer, of course, was an orphan that went on to success at McKendree. He's back and helping coach. Brian Dinkelman is helping coach, a name that needs no introduction in terms of Orphans baseball. But, so they lose Derek Harlan as an assistant, but they get those Todd Bauer returns again, and then Brian Dinkelman is back as well. So doing a great job there is Matt Kottmeyer, and Orphans baseball looking to go on to that next level. And it's a team that has had some success. They've won some regionals when they haven't been in the same regionals as Marion and Mount Vernon. But they will be stuck together this year at Mount Vernon, I should say, when it comes time for the 3A postseason in late May. So there's a quick look at your Centralia Orphans. We apologize, not sure what happened with the wires getting crossed with Coach Kottmeyer. We were scheduled to have had him on today, but we'll try to catch up with him a little bit later on in the season. Don't forget, due to the Easter holiday and due to Rams baseball being in Paducah with all the time constraints, no Saturday sports show next week. I know that's weird to say, but we'll be back on April the 26th, so we'll be back in a couple of weeks. We promise. We'll be back with our social media question and a nice heavy bevy of guests on April the 26th after taking next week off due to the holiday. and due to Rams baseball being where it is down in Paducah. Should be a fun weekend next weekend. Of course, for the Rams, we're with the Rams every game next week. Unfortunately, the schedule works out the way it does to where we can't see the Lady Rams next week, but we'll be at Althoff on Tuesday, at Cahokia on Thursday, and then head to Paducah on Friday and Saturday. And you think about teams that, maybe not in the state of Illinois that have some nice names to them. And Memphis U-High, of course, is one. Bartlett's a good program. And then Henderson, Kentucky. Should be a very, very good test for the Rams. And I think that's one where if you come out of there with a win of any kind, you're excited. Not saying they're going to go 0-3. I don't mean that at all. But I just mean that, a win against any of those teams is a win to cherish and a win to build upon.
Curious to see Memphis U-High, more known for their basketball prowess, many a year at the Carbondale Holiday Tournament. Very good academic school as well out of Memphis. And then, the competition, you get to play at McCracken County High School, a brand new school facility. Very interested to see that and all the sport complexes down there. Seen shots of the gym and stuff on Twitter. But very interested to see the baseball facility and everything else. And I think the next day you get to play at Brooks Stadium in Paducah. And a lot of people don't know about Brooks Stadium, but that is one of the most tradition-laden baseball fields and stadiums in the state of Kentucky for a number of teams and players and things that go on that stadium. That'll be a cool thing to play at for, the kids may not understand it, but Brooks Stadium is very rich in tradition, that's for sure.
Well, definitely some historical significance to be able to play there at Brooks Stadium, so it'll be a good test for the Rams. It'll be a good experience to go to Paducah, play 3 games in 2 days. Got that backwards almost. And should be fun for Rams baseball, should be fun for us, and we look forward to bringing you every pitch all throughout the season.
Got to mention also today, there's going to be some very nervous high school students and or student athletes. First off, here's an example of we'll go back to Brooks Stadium real quick, is Mike Shannon called it one of the finest amateur baseball parks in the United States. It's hosted the OVC and Trans-South Conference tournaments. It's hosted many college baseball teams as well. The original Kitty League, an affiliate of St. Louis Cardinals, the Missouri Ohio Valley League. I mean, it's had all kinds of stuff, American Legion. But good luck to high school students and high school student athletes today as they traverse into a room quietly with their pencils and take the ACT test once again.
Oh, yeah.
April 12th. Yep, April 12th. and that is a very stressful time, especially for people trying to make a number, trying to improve a number, trying to walk in and do things that you may or may not have seen in your curriculum at your high school. But good luck to everybody today taking an ACT test.
I remember the first time I took the ACT. Or maybe it was the second time. I don't remember. No, it was the first time. I was up like all night the night before and came in, and I fell asleep during science, and Brent Garrison was trying to wake me up. First of all, this is before I really knew Brent on a friendly level. I'm thinking, oh, my God, what's he doing here type of thing. But it was a fun experience. Fell asleep during science. Had to take it again nonetheless. So that was good times. Have good luck to everybody taking the ACT today. Just killing some time here on the Saturday Sports Show. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll give you our answers to the WMIX Sports social media question of the week here on the Saturday Sports Show, presented by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
It's what healthcare should be.
Back after these.
You need a great quality new-to-you vehicle. There's a reason why Second Chance Auto has been helping put families into affordable, dependable vehicles for over 34 years. Honest, fair deals. Ain't nothing fancy, just great vehicles with warranties and bank rate financing for all. That's the only way Second Chance Auto will do business. They're receiving new vehicles every day. So be sure to stop by and find out how you can save thousands on the total cost of your vehicle. Helping people get a great, dependable vehicle for over 34 years. Second Chance Auto, Route 142 East in Mount Vernon. Call 244-4518.
If you can't pick us up where you live, move. This is WMIX, Mount Vernon, Marion, another Withers Broadcasting Station.
Women's health care just got closer to home, right here in Salem. St. Mary's Good Samaritan Women's Health Care and OBGYNs Dr. Deborah Carson, Dr. Doug Combs, Dr. Jamie Plett, Dr. Elizabeth Byer-Nolan, and Dr. Michael Schifano are seeing patients every Tuesday at the Salem Family Health Center. That means you'll have a full range of OBGYN services close to home, including prenatal and wellness checks, incontinence treatment, and family planning options for when your family's complete. Plus, access to state-of-the-art Da Vinci robotic surgery for quicker recovery and less pain after hysterectomy. Ladies, Your health is important, so why not get OBGYN care right here close to home by St. Mary's Good Samaritan Women's Health Care. Call 1-877-456-2496 to make your appointment. That's 1-877-456-2496.
Hi, this is Joe David Cummins, President of Community First Bank. By now you have heard about our new One Checking product. The new One Account is a high interest earning, free checking account designed for everyone. Unlike other banks that pay interest on higher balance, this account pays interest on all balances. From high schoolers to Warren Buffett, One will work for you. You can talk to one of us at 244-3000 and learn about the details. One, exclusively at Community First Bank. You will be one happy customer. Member FDIC.
Welcome back, WMIX, WMIXSports.com. The Saturday Sports Show rolls on into hour number 2. Don't forget our WMIX social media question of the week this week. Favorite app, most used app? Which verbiage do we go with? My Facebook app's not working.
What app do you use the most? And for you, it's not Facebook today.
Apparently not. Well, the Twitter app's kind of being not so friendly on my iPad. I had to use it for my iPhone yesterday. First world problems, hashtag. Hashtag first world problems. There we go.
Yeah.
So, I have 3, but what are yours?
3, no. Mine's work related. Just Twitter. Can we mention other entities?
You gotta do what you gotta do.
Okay. A particular named weather app I do check out a lot. I won't mention entities.
Oh, yeah, don't.
No.
Not that.
No. Okay.
If you're going national on me, I'd have been all right, but don't do that, no.
No.
Actually I have 4. It's no secret that I am a company guy. We all know that. So the fact that one of my most used apps is West Virginia related is kind of stupid. But my number 1 by far is what's called WhatsApp. It's probably the most answered one on there right now. All we have to do is copy and paste that. But WhatsApp, Twitter, DirecTV, and WDTV are my most used apps. And WDTV is a CBS affiliate in West Virginia that just happens to be owned by Withers Broadcasting. I have no use for West Virginia weather or news, but it's still kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
So, kind of a tool in that regard.
Yep.
So, those are mine. DirecTV is going to get a lot of use just because I can use it as a remote control.
And you can use it when you're somewhere and go, hey, that's on, bang.
Well, that's how we got Bo Meyer on the... we were at Central that day, and Central doing a baseball game.
That's what I did.
And you recorded, and I was like, wow, that's neat. I don't have that luxury.
Yeah.
And now, 2 short years later, I do. And speaking of Central, a sad story out of there, and certainly our respects are paid, and our sympathies and thoughts and prayers are with the entire Central Cougar community after the passing of their athletic director, Al Warnicki. Last night, he had suffered a heart attack, maybe multiple, on Monday, and finally succumbed to that yesterday, and he was 61 years old, and it's just a sad deal. Probably one of the best that you will ever come across in terms of his support for his community and high school sports in general. So that's a sad topic. Didn't mean to delve into that as we did, but sad deal. We dealt with him a few times, of course. Rams baseball playing Central each and every year, and then of course we did that Sesterville, Waltonville, Woodlawn, and Breeze Central football game, and he was very kind to us, and we had whatever we needed when going there for any sports. So we put that on our Facebook page last night, and not encourage you to check it out for the sake of likes, but just to go check out the article. We actually shared Norm Sanders' write-up, as he had the unfortunate task of having to write that for his entity, the News Democrats. So it's on there on our Facebook page to go to that. It is an external link, but just a sad deal, and one of the greats, and he will be very, 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 very missed in the world of high school sports, and it's sad when that happens.
That's a program that's had a lot of success over the years, good coaches, both boys and girls, Kokia Conference. You really couldn't go there without, seeing him around, and Southern Illinois lost a fantastic person yesterday.
Well, just as you mentioned, all the success that they've had all across the way, and there for every bit of it, and it's a sad deal, and we certainly... Our thoughts and prayers are with those whom he has touched over the years, and that is a countless number in Clinton County and beyond. So our thoughts and prayers certainly with the Central Cougar family at this time. So Eric Widges, Keith Welch, John Shadowin still to come here on the Saturday Sports Show. And again, our social media question of the week is up, and we'll take care of that. We do need to take a break. When we come back, we'll talk more about what's to come here on the Saturday Sports Show, presented by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
That's what healthcare should be.
Back after these.
Registration for summer classes at Rendlake College is going on now. The 8-week summer term is a great chance to catch up on classes you need, from general education to electives and more. Curious about starting college or even a little nervous? Summer is a good time for new students to find out what Rendlake College can do for you. Registration for summer classes continues through June 6th. Call us at 618-437-5321 or find us online at rlc.edu. Rendlake College, your journey starts here.
The health of your kidneys has a big impact on your overall health, affecting everything from your blood pressure to your bones. And if you ever have a kidney problem, Dr. Kangura is here to help. Dr. Kangura trained at the Mayo Clinic and specializes in conditions ranging from kidney stones and uncontrolled high blood pressure to chronic kidney disease. Dr. Kangura sees patients at Crossroads Specialty Clinic. For an appointment, call 618-241-9071.
And we welcome you back, WMIX, WMIXsports.com. The Saturday Sports Show is presented by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
It's what healthcare should be.
Our next guest is a very successful head coach of Nashville Hornets baseball. He is Chad Malavi. Coach, good morning.
Hey, good morning. How are you?
We are doing very, very well. But the Hornets are, again, no surprise, off to a great start this season. What exactly, through all the rainouts, sometimes it's hard to keep track. What exactly is the Hornet record now?
I think we're 11-2. I'm pretty sure. I'm day to day. I get behind just like anybody else, trying to be a dad and everything else. But I think we're 11-2.
You had the task this year. Maybe it affected you more or less. I don't know, but I'm gonna ask it anyway. This year, the Nashville boys get second in state, so you didn't have that couple weeks. How did that affect you, and how many players did that kind of take away for a couple weeks before they got in the baseball swing?
I think we had 11 players up there at the basketball state tournament, so that's quite a few of our baseball program. And but they did start playing a little catch in the mornings on their own. They'd come in and throw. The pitchers would get their band work and throwing up the mound a little bit. So that does help. And the other thing that helped is it's a bulk load of seniors. I got a ton of seniors this year, and some of that veteran leadership. They kind of understand what it takes to get ready for the season, and returning a lot of players. There is high expectations, so they understand the importance of getting ready for the baseball season.
Well, and of course, like everybody else, you've had to deal with the weather on top of the basketball success. But your first game out of the gate is against Rockford Lutheran, who was kind of in a similar boat, except in Class 3A. You had some successes there. Of course, 11-2 mark thus far in the year. You play Woodlawn, Centralia, Lebanon, and then, of course, the tough river-to-river Mississippi. A tough schedule for the Hornets year in and year out, and you guys seem to be taking it with relative ease right now at 11-2.
Well, I wouldn't say relatively at ease, but we are playing good baseball. We do a lot of little things right, but baseball's that day that every day if you don't work on your swing and you don't come and give best effort, it can go sour in a hurry. But our schedule isn't easy. I mean, Rockford, they come down. They were in the basketball state tournament, but they've got some nice athletes. I think they were a semifinalist in football. In the last 2 years, they've been in the basketball final, so they do have nice athletes to play for them. And then, we do start off with some non-conference teams, kind of get our feet wet, because conference is a priority for us. That is something that we haven't won in, I think, maybe 3 or 4 years, and we sure would like to get that crown back in Nashville.
Speaking of keeping the crown, this week is maybe the crown jewel of scheduling in Southern Illinois on your schedule. You have Pinckneyville at home Monday, at DuQuoin Tuesday. Mount Vernon's going to wear Althoff out for you out on Tuesday, so then you get Althoff at home on Wednesday, and then Friday you're at AJ, and then Saturday Roxanne at Busch Stadium. I mean, that is an amazing run of games, especially with that big game at Busch Stadium on Saturday.
Yeah, it is. But, we're happy to play with the weather finally starting to turn for us, and it is big. The conference gauntlet is tough. I think we're the only conference that I know of, at least in the Metro East Southern Illinois, that plays 3 in a week. I sure wish we'd, maybe talk to both sides of our conference into going to a Tuesday-Thursday schedule, like, the SWC and the Cahokia And, like with Triad, Waterloo, they're also on Tuesday, Thursday. I wish we would do that. That would ease our pitching a little bit because going 3 conference games in a week usually means 3 arms. And then you mix in a great, I think Althoff is a really solid club, and we got to play them on a Wednesday in the middle of that. And I don't want to sound like I'm making excuses, but we do. We always got to throw our 4 or 5 or whatever we got against them. And I don't like getting beat by them because that's my brother-in-law that coaches at Althoff. So that, I do want to always get that one for maybe, I guess, personal reasons. But then we did pick up Roxana, solid Roxana Club at Busch Stadium, which is, I think, a nice reward for our players and program to just go over there and play.
So, any side bets on this game Wednesday, or is it just ready to go for bragging rights?
Well, yeah, it's just regular bragging rights. He sure is a nice guy. He's a lot softer than I am too, though. So just to get that out there on the air. I think I promised his dad years ago. I went, when I took his daughter off his hands. He kind of begged me to marry her, and then he said, "Oh, I'll let you have her though, but you got to promise me to always go easy on my son Brett." So I kind of held up to that, but this year I think I'd like to stick it to him, especially since it's in a regional.
You owe him in regional this year too. You're in the same ballpark then.
Yeah, we are. I guess it's just the way baseball works. Some years when we're not as good, our regional's mediocre.
Yeah.
This year, we are solid. We're not a great club. We're just we're a B-plus club. And in our regional, is Jabot, the defending 1A champ, who I think returned, 8 of their 9 starters and all of their pitching staff. And then you got Freeburg, who's ranked number 1 in the Metro East, who we did get beat by 4-3 on a cold day, in March. And then Althoff comes there as well. So it is a loaded regional. So the year that we're finally pretty good, and I guess that's just the way it goes.
How many peanut M&Ms are you required to bring to every home game for Bo Meyer?
Oh, I was telling you, he eats a ton of popcorn. And then the other day he was working me. I got my grandma takes care of our program a little bit, takes care of Bo. She's an excellent cook and baker, and she's always making cookies for my class and just in general. But Bo, the other day, being sly Bo Meyer, said, "Hey, how's Grandma Jean doing? I haven't seen her in a while." And I knew what he was getting at. And he said, "Hey, just make sure you tell her hi. I was asking about her." And I went over there to see her on Sunday, and she said, "That snake Bo, he just asked because he wants my cookies." But sure enough, Monday, he had a big batch of cookies sitting on his radio table to start the game.
There is nobody that knows more about how to do that sort of thing than Bradley K. Meyer, and he'll probably be upset that I called him Bradley K. Meyer, but that's okay. We'll deal with it.
Yeah, that's right. But you know what? We're awfully fortunate to have him. He's one of the best in the business, and he truly cares about, Hornet athletes in Nashville High School, and he's short of calling him an icon. He's been around a long time, and hopefully he continues to do what he does for us.
Well, and I think icon actually is a well-deserved term because you are right. He does care immensely, in addition to the athletes, about the entire community of Nashville and the entire county of Washington, and he is one of a kind. One of a kind also is our final question for you, the WMIX Sports Social Media Question of the Week. And this week we want to know, which app is your most used app on your smartphone or phone?
Oh, man. Well, smartphone, you kind of got me there. My old phone just broke. My wife got me a smartphone, and, I don't know. I'm not very tech-savvy, so I'm going to say the weather app, especially being a baseball coach. I know it sounds pretty boring, but that's why I'm always checking that radar and that hourly forecast. So no games for me right now.
Hey, okay. I was wondering when our first weather app out of all these baseball and softball coaches would actually pop up. But, Coach, I know you guys have a busy week coming up, a tough week with all those conference games. We wish you the best of luck and hope to catch up with you soon.
All right. Hey, thanks for having me on the show. I truly appreciate it.
You bet. That's Chad Malavi, head coach of Nashville Hornets baseball, and 11-2. I knew it was somewhere way up there because they are expected to do a lot this year, but it's always a great program, well coached. Obviously, the state champion softball coach moving over to the baseball side just a few years back, and good dude. Love to talk to him here on the Saturday Sports Show.
Well, and Nashville's right now, it's like he mentioned, you get into the wrong kind. Again, postseason is a crazy draw. And you get into a situation where you're looking at, and I'll just read, of course, don't look at IHS and how they did geography on this. At the Nashville Regional, Jabot was the defending 1A champ. Althoff's from the South 7. Nashville's hosting. You have Freeburg, who's starting to come around, and then Dupo. Good luck in that regional trying to get out and trying to pick a winner of that one, especially with Althoff, Nashville, and Jabot. Amazing.
At least Westland's not there, too.
Yeah, Westland got moved out. But they're not in any better regional because they're with Central, Mater Dei, Carlisle, and Greenville.
Enjoy that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Good luck.
Of course, we've expected Althoff to make some noise in 2A the past couple seasons. Just seems like the couple pitches go the wrong way in those games.
Yeah.
And Althoff, a very good team, especially now they're 2A. Should be an interesting dynamic to that regional once mid to late May comes around the corner. Speaking of around the corner, we have Eric Widges. He is the athletic director at Waltonville High School. We'll talk about their tournament and their fundraiser today. Going on. Games actually should be started already down there. We'll talk about that after the break here on the Saturday Sports Show, powered by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
It's what healthcare should be.
Back after these.
I'm Jeremy Pearson with the look at your next rad weather. It will be breezy and warm today with a blend of clouds and sunshine, high 78. Mostly cloudy, breezy and mild tonight, low 60. Mostly cloudy and windy tomorrow with a shower or thunderstorm around in the afternoon, high 76. And Monday will be mostly cloudy and cooler with a couple of showers likely throughout the day, high 54. Next rad weather from WMIX, Mount Vernon, Illinois.
How can we keep the people we love safe and secure in their own home? Let the Medicine Shop's home medical equipment team help you with all your mobility and specialty product needs. They provide mobility products like motorized scooters, wheelchairs, and home stair lifts. The Medicine Shop's expertly trained staff can also provide car and van lift installations, and they offer a full service repair facility for medical equipment, whether you purchased it from them or somewhere else. Here's pharmacist and pharmacy owner Eric Black.
We service a 60-mile radius area, so a pretty wide area. We service orders from several area hospitals, and we have the staff in place that really sets us apart. We have 3 respiratory therapists and 2 seating specialists to help with seating on wheelchair and power chair needs. And we just feel that we have the staff and the warehousing and the facilities in place to really set us apart from any of our competitors in the area.
The Medicine Shop Pharmacy, 2339 Broadway in Mount Vernon.
Learn to live healthy, learn to live well, and learn how you can live free from unexpected medical expense with a major medical expense policy from Pekin Insurance and the Page Agency. Health insurance that covers hospital, medical, and surgical expenses offers a wide choice of deductibles and a non-tobacco user discount too. Rising medical costs don't have to be a problem with a major medical expense policy from Pekin Insurance. This is coverage we hope you'll never need, but you just can't be without. Call the Page Agency at 242-7000 about a major medical health insurance plan today.
And welcome you back, Saturday Sports Show, WMIX, WMIXSports.com. It's cared for by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
It's what healthcare should be.
That's Danny Zerwinski. I'm Chris Hugo. Avery Barton in studio with us as well. So welcome to the program, the athletic director from Waltonville High School, Eric Widges. Eric, good morning.
Hey, good morning, guys.
How you doing? Beautiful day for your tournament down there. Beautiful day for your fundraiser down there at Waltonville High School. Of course, the baseball and softball tournament. We'll talk about that first before getting to your fundraiser. And again, you had great weather last year. I remember great weather again today for the baseball and softball tournaments that somehow you are able to pull off and run concurrently, because I know that you put all the work into this.
No, I'm not going to take credit for it. Well, first of all, we've been blessed to have a beautiful day to be out here, and I know everybody kind of anticipated a day off as far as from the weather and the rain and the snow that we've had, and I was kind of worried there for a second because, first warm day, first warm weekend, I'm like, well, people may not want to come out. They want to do some chores and stuff, but hopefully they come out and support what we've got going on here.
Can we name the teams in your 2 tournaments today that are out there competing?
We've got, on the softball side, Edwards County and Waltonville are playing right now the 9 o'clock game, and then Wayne City and Marissa will play the 10:30 game. On the baseball side, Waltonville and Gallatin County are playing right now at the 9 o'clock, and then Marissa and Weber Township will play the 11 o'clock game.
Pretty good line of tournaments. When you brought this thing, do this together, there's got to be a lot of people out there. How much help, how much work does it have to be done to get this thing ready?
Well, the good thing about it is we have a lot of help. We've got plenty of volunteers on both fields helping out, making sure teams got what they need as far as water, ice, anything they need on that. So the good thing is, once it gets going, it pretty well takes care of itself because of the people that I've got here helping.
Well, you talk about the people you have helping and all the volunteers to make this tournament successful. You also need a lot of volunteers to help with your fundraiser, and that's probably the most important aspect today. FFA Pork Chop Dinner fundraiser, it starts at 11, runs until 6 in the grade school cafeteria. And this is an important fundraiser, of course, in times where we need more funds to be able to operate just educational programs and things of that ilk. So a big fundraiser for you guys today at the grade school.
Yeah, that's the key is like you said, in times like this, you got to find different avenues, bringing some income into the schools. And one thing that Ben Newberry and I, he's the FFA director, before we set anything in stone, we contact each other, make sure we're on the same page, and we set the date on the same, or we both put it on the same date, and we try to draw from each. You know, we got teams we send in there, we buy the coaches and the umpires and bus drivers a meal ticket to send them in there and get some meals. And then, you know, we do a real good job of advertising it to the public through newspapers and the schools. They know about it, so they can go in there and help on that side of it too. So it's kind of not a whammy, but a double whammy. But we get both sides, get teams here and people in there to eat.
Of course, what all will this fundraiser be going towards? Is it just the FFA, or does this go towards the athletic programs as well?
Today's fundraiser actually goes straight to the FFA. And so what the FFA alumni do is they help out, you know, whenever we need some help as far as, you know, anything apparel-wise or anything for the sports. They do support. And in a small school, you know, we have to support each other or else we wouldn't be able to coexist within a school like that.
Final question for you is our WMIX Sports social media question of the week. And this week's question is, what app do you use the most?
You know, I'm glad you're asking that this year, because a year ago I still had one of those basic phones, so I probably wouldn't be able to help you out there. But I'm actually updated and living in the real world, I guess. I would say I probably use the St. Louis Post-Dispatch the most
Nice.
for the Cardinals and getting the local stuff.
I figured it would be the Babysit Brian Gamber app.
No, that's got its own separate entity. Yeah, that you can't do that on a smartphone. There's no way that can handle a smartphone.
Probably costs too much.
Yeah.
Eric, we appreciate you taking the time for us today. Good luck with the fundraiser, of course, for the FFA. That's 11 until 6 in the grade school cafeteria. Best of luck with that, but good luck with your tournament today. Weather is absolutely gorgeous.
Yes, thank you guys. Thanks for everything you've done for us this year and in the future.
Appreciate it. That's Eric Widges, athletic director, Waltonville High School, friend of the Saturday Sports Show, and all-around great guy. Of course, we don't associate usually with people that people that are of ill repute. So he is a great friend of the program and does a lot for us, and we try to do whatever we can to help pay him back for that effort. But just one of the good ones, and we're very proud to have had him on today to talk about their fundraiser, FFA Pork Chop Dinner Fundraiser, Waltonville. It's in the grade school, 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. And, of course, I think the neat thing about that is that in hosting the tournament today, obviously they're doing something where they're going to have foot traffic. And I think it's smart that they give a dinner for the coaches and drivers of each team. Not only are you showing some nice goodwill there, but you also lead to getting more business that way when people see the dinner filtering around. So that's
it's
smart.
location, too.
Oh, yeah.
You think about it, you have a baseball softball tournament in Waltonville. If you want fast food, you either got to go to Cesar or to Mount Vernon. So it's like, why go at $3.80, basically $3.80 a gallon gas when you're right there? You walk across to the cafeteria, everybody can eat. You got all those teams, all those fans. You make a bunch of money, you fundraise. It's a good idea.
Great idea indeed. Of course, that's from 11 until 6. Pardon me, at the Waltonville Grade School Cafeteria to benefit the Waltonville FFA. We need to take a break. We'll come back with Keith Welch. He is the head coach of McLeansboro Foxes basketball. They're having an alumni game today. Also today, don't forget the WMIX Easter egg hunt. The annual edition is at Veterans Park. Registration at 3:30, hunt at 4. Multiple age classes. I believe there are 4 classes also in the WMIX Easter egg hunt. So that's coming up today, Veterans Park. Weather's absolutely beautiful. Easter Bunny will be on hand, so maybe a photo op or two, stick it on the Twitterverse or something. I don't know, whatever you do with that. Our social media question of the week, by the way, is live on Facebook. Check that out. We'll be back after the break.
This is your local State Farm agent, Tony Wilt. I want to thank Mount Vernon and the surrounding area for continuing to support us over the past 5 years. If you have never sat down with someone to go over your insurance program, let me invite you into our office. Let us show you what working with the industry leader, represented by a local agent, can do for you. I'm located just off 42nd Street. You can reach our office 24 hours a day at 242-1421 or on the web at tonywilt.com. Thanks again, and go Rams.
You hear about truck months? Well, 2014 is already setting up to be a truck year. Hi, Roy Schmidt, Ram truck dealer at King City Chrysler Center, Mount Vernon. Backed by popular demand, ABC Ally Financing is back. All 2014 Ram Quad Cab Express, Bighorn, and Outdoorsman models qualify for this program. Not only do you get a $2,500 rebate, Ally Financial will give you $3,000 on top of that. That's $5,500 in total discounts, plus you will get a low finance rate for up to 84 months. Payments could be as low as $350 on a new 2014 Ram Quad Cab truck. Come see one of our sales associates who will help you find any other qualifying discounts. Hurry to King City Chrysler Center at 1603 Broadway in Mount Vernon, Illinois, or browse our inventory online at kingcitychryslercenter.com.
Kane is in the building.
And we welcome you back. WMIX, WMIXSports.com. The Saturday Sports Show is presented by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
It's what healthcare should be.
So glad to have you with us today. Of course, we're near the bottom of the 9 o'clock hour. Welcome to the program, the head coach of McLeansboro Foxes basketball. He is Keith Welch. Coach, good morning.
Hey, how's it going?
You guys have a big alumni game tonight, of course, at 6 p.m., I believe it is. And when you think about alumni and you think about the Foxes, you think of all of the names and so many names that have gone through that program over time. What a big event that is tonight.
Yeah, it's going to be a really good event starting at 6 o'clock tonight. We've got players that played from 2007 to present, starting in the first game, and then 2007 all the way back to 1985 playing the second game.
Oh. So I got to ask, I mean, there's so many names that are out there. I mean, I'm going to throw a few out there. Jason Hansen, Ron Weinmiller, any of these guys coming back, put the laces and shoes on?
Hansen and Benji were going to play. They had to briefly pull out, and we had to switch the dates up. So we've got a lot of names. Laban Cross will be back to play. Jeff Morris is playing.
Yeah.
Roger Phelps, Jason Moore. For the older guys, so it should be a good time.
But remember, you said all the way back to 85. Of course, that cuts out the 84 team, but the 85 team wasn't bad either. Made it to the sectional, and they're trying to repeat as state champs in West Frankfort. But, that's a lot of people to bring back, and, that's very good for the community to have the alumni game with the basketball tradition of Hamilton County.
Yeah, it's a really good time, and a lot of people come out and support, and they like to see these guys. A lot of those older guys, as well as the guys that have recently graduated, aren't necessarily around here because of the lack of jobs. They go elsewhere. So it's nice to have them all come back, and nice camaraderie for all of us Foxes to be together, and for some of the younger guys just to get the feel of to see some of these guys that they've heard about all the time that can still play. You talk about Jason Hansen and Benji Johnson. They can still really play, and it's exciting for these younger guys to see them.
Who gets the honor or honors of coaching these teams tonight?
We don't have coaches. We just kind of coaching together as ourselves. We thought about having coached a couple years ago. It didn't work out real well, so we just kind of put one person in charge of each team and then go on with it.
Because you get a lot of Hamilton County guys that went on to coaching like yourself. You're going to have a lot of guys wanting to be player or coach at the same time, and maybe their theory of how much they should play and who shouldn't really. There might be some dissension, and maybe it come down tonight who wins. Maybe less dissension among the team.
Yeah, you're right there. Everybody on our team's a coach. Let you get going, and I agree with that. But it's a good time, and that's an interesting idea there. Maybe next year we need to try to have a couple of the older guys come back and coach us up. See if we can handle it.
So how does Ron Weinmiller not get involved in this somehow? Either by I've not heard word one from him about anything like this, and usually he's all about promoting this type of event. How's he not involved? Was he busy or just?
I need to call him and get on him a little bit. It's been all over Facebook and stuff, and I'm sure he's busy with this program and stuff too now. But we'll get him involved in it next year.
He's probably big time in you. He has a tendency to do that sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes Ron does that. Ronnie's Ronnie, So he's a great guy though, and he's got a lot of good things going for him there. So,
like me, how has your week been? I'm curious since Monday night.
Up and down a little bit. Tuesday wasn't too hot, but I have to think about it a little bit. And that made a really nice run, and got to make free throws. That's about it. That's all I know.
Yeah, got to make free throws, and might want to play defense a little bit. I think the big shots made were bigger than the missed free throws in Monday night's game.
Yeah, I'll agree with that too. And then them two little guards play some defense. Boatwright had Harrison messed up from the first possession. So
yeah,
it happened.
That's the way it goes, I guess. But anyway, we go to our final question of the day, and you know how this goes. It's our WMIX Sports social media question of the week, and this week's question is, what app do you use the most?
What app do I use the most? I would say Yahoo Sportacular. I'm always on there checking scores and stuff, and that's probably the one that I use the most.
That is a tremendous app. I have that on as well. I mean, if you want something immediately, that app is pretty darn good. I agree with that pick wholeheartedly.
Yeah, I mean, that's the one that I use the most, I'd say.
Solid app. I don't have that one. I just have like the fantasy sports app for some reason. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out all these new apps. Because Yahoo comes out with like a different one, I think, like every other week, and it's just hard to stay on top.
I like our Sportacular, though. It's always been good the last couple of years. I spend a lot of time on there checking scores. So.
Before we let you go, though, I know we had our social media question. Just run down the details of tonight one more time. That way, if anybody from around wants to go see some of the legendary Foxes from recent memory, they can do so. Run down the event one more time.
The first game starts at 6 o'clock. It's players from 2007 to present. Second game immediately follow will be players from that graduated from 2007 all the way back to 1985. There's halftime entertainment, concessions, barbecue nachos, hot dogs, popcorn. I think it's $2 to get in. There's going to be jump lead tumbles, got some dancers performing as well as some other entertainment.
Perfect. And that's all at Sloan Gymnasium tonight?
Do what?
That's all at Sloan Gymnasium tonight on the new campus?
Yeah, it's at the new school.
Perfect. Coach, we appreciate you for taking the time out with us today, and good luck with the event tonight. It sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun.
Okay, thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
That's Keith Welch, head coach of the Hamilton County Foxes, or McLeansboro Foxes, as you prefer. Big alumni game tonight, as you heard, of course, class of 2007 to present will be at 6 o'clock, 2006 to about 85. We'll be following that in Jerry Sloan Gymnasium on the campus of Hamilton County Unit 10. That'll be tonight, starting at 6. Check it out if you're interested. Of course, the WMIX Easter egg hunts today. Maybe go there before you go tonight. Swing the kiddies on by to hunt for eggs. Registration at 3:30. Hunt begins at 4. We need to take a break. When we come back, we'll talk Cessna-Valera-Waltonville track with John Shadowins here on the Saturday Sports Show presented by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
It's what healthcare should be.
Back after these.
Hi, this is Joe David Cummins, President of Community First Bank. Now is a great time to move your account to Community First Bank. With our new One account offering the highest interest rate in the market, free checking, and CD specials delivered by people you know and trust, why would you not bank with the market leader in Jefferson County? We offer 5 locations with 7 ATMs and have been serving the Jefferson County market since 1906. Stop in and see why our bank is the fastest growing bank in Jefferson County. Community First Bank. Welcome back to Personal Banking. Member FDIC.
Whether it's Mother Nature's inability to decide on a season, a weekend that got a little out of hand, or just life, there's always something looking to damage your vehicle. This is Chase Landers from Landers Collision Centers. Maybe winter weather turned your full-size sedan into a compact, or a little hail has your truck looking like Swiss cheese. Perhaps a deer decided to go for a ride on your hood, or maybe your truck is missing its hitch and bumper after pulling your little brother out of the ditch last weekend. Did a bad breakup leave a little graffiti on your SUV? We hope not, but we've seen it all, and we certainly don't judge. Whatever mess life has created for your vehicle, we'll clean it up. As a direct repair facility for many insurance companies, we take care of just about everything, even getting you into a temporary vehicle while we restore yours. That's the Landers difference. Top to bottom, big or small, Landers fixes them all. Come see us in Mount Vernon and Salem and ask us about free detailing for the life of your vehicle. Or call 1-888-LANDERS. That's 1-888-LANDERS.
A digestive problem can affect every area of your life. But now there's a specialist right here in town who focuses on digestive health. Mayo Clinic trained Dr. Tegpaul Atwal has opened the only gastroenterology clinic in Mount Vernon. Dr. Atwal treats acid reflux, gallbladder problems, inflammatory bowel disease, ulcers, and more. For your appointment with Dr. Atwal at Crossroads Specialty Clinic, call 618-241-9071.
Oh, welcome back. Saturday Sports Show, WMIX, WMIXSports.com. It's presented by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
It's what healthcare should be.
You bet it is. We welcome to the program famed WMIX sports correspondent by fall. He is track and field coach for Sisseler-Waltonville by spring. He is John Shadowins. Coach, good morning.
Hey, what's up, fellas?
You know what? It's been a long time, but it's flown by. I can't believe we're already in spring and it's time to talk track and field. But track, just like other sports, dealing with the weather, there's been so many teams as far as outdoor meets that have had to cancel. How are things for you guys? You been able to get out very much?
Well, we got off to a bit of a late start, like you said, with the weather. But luckily, this is the year that the IHSA calendar moved back a year. It's all centered around Thanksgiving where that falls. So everything was later this year. So actually, we've been out. I guess we've had 3 meets outside this year, which is not too bad.
Looking at your team, your track team in particular, obviously, talk about the kids. Some of the kids that are out this year and running and throwing for your team.
Well, we've got the best numbers we've had in over at least 10 years. We've got 21 kids out, and we've got a kind of a weird dynamic. We're heavily senior laden, with a mixture of some freshmen that were really successful on the 8th grade level last year. In fact, our freshmen won the Class S Junior High State Championship last year. So our sprinters are freshmen, and our middle distance guys and jumpers are mostly seniors. People who are familiar with our basketball team that went to Peoria this year would know Tyler Baxter. He's a heck of he's our leading point guy so far. He's a heck of a long jumper and triple jumper. And he runs the 300-meter hurdles pretty well, too. Jordan Gunner and Nick McCarty, two basketball starters as well. They're both distance guys. McCarty runs the mile. Gunner runs the 2-mile. Each of those guys have won 2 events this year. So the basketball team's well represented. And our freshmen, Zane Bernier and Jamie Lance, 2 really, really nice sprinters for freshmen. And the sky's the limit for those guys.
Well, sky's the limit indeed, of course, as track starts to take off into the latter part of the season. But as you look towards your postseason, things don't get any easier, of course, the tough schedule along the way, and then into the postseason coming up a little bit later on. Things are certainly going to be tough for the Red Devils, but looking forward to a good season the rest of the way.
Yeah. This year, the way things fell, we're headed to Sparta for the sectional, and, man, what a stacked lineup we have over there. But, that's the way it falls sometimes. But, the good thing about track is you don't have to beat the other guy. You can always make that qualifying distance or qualifying time or qualifying height and still make it to Charleston.
What else are you up to these days? Any other sports you're following, football, draft, anything else going on besides track, keeping you busy and occupied?
Man, my thumb is sore from the remote last night, Danny. We have Cardinals and Cubs on television. We had the Blues and the Stars playing hockey, and then the Pacers and the Heat were on. So I was in hog heaven last night. Plus, the wife made wings. So, man, it was a great night.
So that was interesting. The Blues, we'll traverse around. They're like a mash unit right now. This is one of those where 2 weeks ago everybody was talking Stanley Cup, and now it's like the wrong matchup. They could be done in the first round.
Yeah. You always talk about peaking too early. I'm not sure there's such a thing, but if there is, I'm afraid the Blues did. You see that a lot with teams. The team that gets hot at playoff time, more often than not, it's a team that gets hot rather than the team that's been the best team all year long.
That's a case I wondered back when the Olympics were first on. When the Olympics happened, the Blues kind of got that rhythm back after, but to me, they never really got a rhythm back in as far as the season goes. They've never really found it.
Yeah, I think that's probably an accurate assessment, Danny. But they're going to have to do something here quick, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, it's game time next weekend. They're going to have to get something. And then you go to the NBA, the Pacers sat all 5 starters the other night to rest, still beat Milwaukee. You had this game last night. Dwayne Wade probably plays less than you and I do in the NBA. I mean, this the Miami team beat up trying to stagger to the finish line, and Indiana doesn't look much better. You just had the feeling that maybe one of these two teams or both may not make it to the NBA Finals because other teams are looking at these two being so hurt and banged up they may not be able to get there.
Well, I think that we're going to get a little bit of a rest in round 1 because the bottom of the East is so seemingly weak that I think they might get a chance to mend a little bit, in that first round. Miami might even play that Dwayne Wade the first round of the playoffs. I'm not sure they would need him, and they might get healthy quick then after the first round win.
We know your football is your thing, and we know the NFL draft's coming. What do you make of Johnny Manziel? If you were a general manager, what would you do with him?
What a gamble, I'm not sure that he's the guy that you would pin franchise quarterback on. The way as physical as the NFL is, and as long as the season is, a guy like Johnny Manziel that flourished in college, you just hate to see an NFL team, and the way Johnny's built. You've got Cam Newton that's a bigger, stronger guy, and people like him that seem to get by with it. But Manziel's going to have to learn to stay in the pocket a little more to survive the NFL.
Final question for you is our WMIX Sports social media question of the week. You know how this goes. This week's question is, what app do you use the most?
I've got 2 or 3 that I use daily. The first one I use every morning. I get up and I use my Bible app. I try to read a chapter a day. And also my Weather Channel app. Got to check the weather before I head out. Track coach, that's pretty important. and of course my Patriots app. All Access Patriots app. I think those 3 get a lot of use.
Love the Weather Channel app. That's one of my favorites. Love the Weather Channel.
Can't get along with that if you're an outdoor coach.
No. Amen to that. Of course, Coach, we appreciate you for taking the time out for us today. Can't wait to do it again in the fall. Hopefully you're back as a WMIX sports correspondent back in August.
Sounds good, guys.
Appreciate it. John Shadowins, head coach, Cessford-Waltonville Track and Field, and a tough road to hoe for the Devils, of course, with their postseason assignment over in Sparta. So we'll keep an eye on that the rest of the way. We'll keep an eye on a lot of your local sports the rest of the way. We're actually going to catch up with Matt Kottmeyer. He is the Orphans baseball coach after a quick break here on the Saturday Sports Show, presented by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
Yeah, it's what healthcare should be.
Back after these.
Many wonderful people and things, and that includes quality cardiac care from Dr. Ruzaik Ibrahim. A skilled cardiologist, Dr. Ibrahim's training and scientific accomplishments have earned his designation as a Fellow of the American College of Cardiology. His services range from preventative care to the treatment of advanced heart conditions. For an appointment with Dr. Ibrahim at Crossroads Specialty Clinic, call 241-9071 or visit in person at 4113 South Water Tower, Mount Vernon.
Qualifications and rules apply. See institution for details.
Hi, I saw your ad for a checking account that earns interest on my money.
Oh yes, that's our plutonium account, and it requires $50,000 to open.
What? How am I supposed to grow my money when I can't even afford to open the account?
Introducing Kasasa, free checking, where even the smallest balance earns high yields, plus refunds on ATM fees nationwide. Try Kasasa.com, Kasasa.
Visit People's National Bank or peoplesnationalbank.com for your Kasasa checking. Member FDIC.
Turn down for what? Turn down for what?
I have no idea now. I get distracted easily, and this week I did not pick our bum music. I let Avery Barton do it, but okay. I'm Chris Hugo. Danny Zawinski's alongside. The Saturday Sports Show is cared for by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
That's what healthcare should be.
I'm going to need some care after whatever that was. And I consider myself pretty up with the times, but I have no idea what that was, and I don't know that I care to know. It's not Latin pop, so it's not doing much for me. However, we do welcome to the program. He is the head coach of Centray Orphans Baseball, Matt Kottmeyer. Matt, good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me on.
Always a pleasure. And, of course, great to talk to the Orphans. We'll see you, of course, on April the 22nd. But you guys got off to a pretty good start to your season. Tough schedule, much like others in the region. Mascoutah, Heron, Salem, Belleville West. I know there's been some rainouts along the way. Flora, Nashville, you're able to get in, of course, on a Saturday. But how has the season gone to this point for Orphans baseball?
We've been, the first week we didn't do too well. We started off the season 0-4, unfortunately. On our last 5 games, we've won 4 out of the last 5, and we played much, much better since the first week. So inconsistent is probably the best way to describe it. We've been doing a lot of positive things. Some of the negatives has just kind of outweighed all that stuff. So we're getting there.
Well, Mason McCreakin, one of those back for his, 10th year on your team. Everybody knows about him. Talk about some of your other kids that you're looking at and have looked at so far this season to lead you in wins.
Well, so far our most consistent pitcher has been Kyle Davis. He's a senior for us. He's a 3-year starter. I believe he's 3-0 right now with an ERA of under 1. He's thrown very well. Mason McCreakin on the mound. He's going to be a real good one for us. He struggled a little bit this year so far, but he's going to be, one of our top guys, of course. He's already signed a pitch at Kaskaskia College. Ryan Miller's a big one for us on the mound. He's got some quality innings. And we had a kid, junior, Josh Nunnery, throw a no-hitter the other day against Cahokia, so that's a pretty neat deal. Those have been our 4, most consistent pitchers so far.
Well, and of course, you look around the field. You mentioned names like Ryan Miller. Ryan Shipley's a guy who I remember in the outfield and middle infield for you over the past few years. Trip Kessler's another that comes to mind. Kyle Davis, of course. C.J. Berry, among others. You have a nice returning nucleus in 2014 for Orphans baseball.
Yeah, we do. We've got a lot of guys, really, that have played a lot since their sophomore year. We've got 4 or 5 guys that have played quite a bit. So that's kind of why the 0-4 start was kind of disheartening towards me, because we were making mistakes that guys with as much experience that we have shouldn't be making. Base running mistakes, just mental errors. But the last week we've gotten a lot better. So we do have enough experience to make a legitimate effort to get better and continue through the year, and that's what I'm expecting.
Looking at those efforts to get better, your schedule next week doesn't give you any days off. I mean, Collinsville, Carbondale, Mater Dei, Marion, Carlisle, and you turn around with Mount Vernon, Edwardsville, Carbondale, North Clay. That's a stretch of the next 2 weeks that is an amazing stretch for anybody, let alone your team, the Centralia Orphans.
Yeah, it is. I mean, we play a real tough schedule, but that's just, we've always done that since I've been here. That's how you get better. And I like playing a lot of games in a week. It's very difficult in baseball to replicate game situations in practice. Of course you can do it and you can talk about it as much as you want, but until you get into games and things just happen and you learn from them, I think it's an advantage to be playing a lot of games. You're allowed to play 35. We always overbook by a couple, just be counting on rainouts and stuff like that. And I just think that's the best way to get better, is play as much as you possibly can. Hopefully the weather stays decent for us this week. I know it's supposed to rain Sunday and maybe Monday morning a little bit. So if anything, we'll try to get these conference games in coming up this week.
Conference-wise, is there anybody in particular looking at as being a favorite this year in the South 7?
I would say, Carbondale's got a lot of guys back that played last year. They've got some talent, especially on the mound. They've got 3 or 4 very quality pitchers. So they're going to be tough. Mount Vernon has been the top dog in the conference for the last several years with Fulkerson on the mound. They're going to be tough, and they've got a young team, but they're getting better. We played all top the other day. They've got a quality record. So I think, honestly, it's kind of up in the air right now. There's several quality teams. And whoever wins it might win it with a couple losses. It'll be interesting to see what happens.
I asked Mallory Calling a similar question earlier, as her team will go a different way this postseason, getting away from the South 7 Conference teams. You come down with the South 7 Conference teams in Heron. Do you prefer to see the conference so much so early in the postseason, or is that familiarity something you favor as you head into the regional?
It just kind of is what it is, I really don't look at it as positive or negative, to tell you the truth, because most years we are with the South 7 Conference teams. There's been a few years within the last, 7 or 8 that we've been pushed towards a Metro East area, but by and large we've been with the South 7 team, so it's just the way it is. I don't really prefer it or dislike it. It's good in the fact that, I think we have a pretty decent scouting report on them just because we play them so much, but you've got to go out and execute. So I just know it's been a tough regional the last several years.
Final question for you is our WMIX Sports social media question of the week, and this week's question is, what app do you use the most?
I don't even mess with them. To be honest with you.
No.
I don't even mess with them.
Huh.
Yeah, I'm back in the Stone Age with that kind of stuff.
Nice.
There's nothing wrong with that.
No.
Yeah.
It becomes it becomes problematic in that they all become way too distracting, and you end up removing yourself from civilization by some of the reliability.
I kind of like keep my distance from that stuff. I just try to coach baseball this time of year and try to win some games. To be honest with you, but I keep that technology stuff to a minimum except when I'm at work.
You, sir, are a very, very smart man, and I certainly envy you for having that intelligence that I am clearly lacking.
I don't know. That's just kind of the way I am. So I don't know. And I guess I'll get caught up at some point, but right now I'm okay the way it is.
Amen to that. Coach, good luck to the Orphans. It's a busy stretch coming up. We will actually get to see you on the 22nd when the Rams come to town. Best of luck to the Orphans along the way.
Well, thank you very much for having me on. I appreciate it.
Always a pleasure. Matt Kottmeyer, head coach of St. Troy Orphans baseball, and talking about where they go over the course of the postseason. And over the past few years, the past decade, there have been times that there was one time in particular in 2010, the Rams and the Orphans met up in a sectional semifinal. Yep. I believe it might have been 12 when they went to the Highland Regional. And so, sometimes they go another way, but since the even class distribution, they pretty well come back to the South. And so it's interesting to see how those two different programs get split up and go different directions in terms of the postseason.
Sometimes it's geography and where you are located at. Not by choice, but where you are located. And then for Centralia, they're in that tweener ground up there where the IHSA has that ability to move them around in various places.
Well, that's kind of the unusual thing about it is, back in 12 when Centralia fed into the Highland Regional, the Rams and everybody went to Waterloo. And, that in itself was somewhat awkward. And now when you look at how things go, you look at the basketball programs, girls' side comes down with the South 7, the boys' side went elsewhere.
Yep.
And it's just kind of weird. And at the same time, though, you get your assignments early enough, I suppose, to where you're able to get it figured out and get some familiarity ahead of time. But it's just kind of weird whenever you don't feed with the same teams all the time in every sports. And granted, I realize that depending upon who hosts, that's not always going to be an option. That plays a great determining factor most of the time, and whom is going to go where, but it's just kind of one of those unusual things, and for schools and both sides, because there's such a movement now to keep both programs in the same class unless the multiplier is involved for the non-boundaried institution, but to keep the public schools in the same class in the same, what they consider group sports. It's just unusual they don't go to the feed with the same teams in the same regionals when that happens. Mm-hmm. But again, that all depends on hosting, and sometimes that's not always something you can do. But it has to be a weird feeling for coaches at times to wonder and have to wonder, hey, who's going to be in our regional this year? But they find out, I guess, in plenty of time. Just weird.
Got to play who you got to play.
Yep. And that's the
attitude. You got to beat everybody eventually, whether you're with them in a regional section or wherever.
And I liked Matt's answer on that. In terms of it wasn't positive, it wasn't negative. Just got to go out there and do it.
Yep.
And you'll find that most of your successful coaches have that type of attitude. Not much time left on the Saturday Sports Show today. We hope you've enjoyed the program. Don't forget, the WMIX Sports social media question is live on Facebook, and we want to know, which app do you use the most? Could be on a tablet, could be on your phone, could be, who knows, could be on your smart TV. There's apps on there as well. There might be apps on your cable TV or satellite receiver. So, which app do you use the most? Tell us on Facebook.com/WMIX Sports. You heard our answers earlier. I don't know if Avery Barton ever gave his answer.
No, he did not. Snobbing us.
Well, he's going to have to get up to do it. We don't talk off mic. Here. It's pet peeve.
No, you have to get up and walk around the 5 feet, 4 steps you got to take there to do it.
Yeah. Just because I'm trying to make it as difficult for you as I possibly can.
I don't know what my favorite app is. Like, can it be anything? Like
You've
on
had
the phone?
an hour.
I've put
in
a
50
lot of thought
minutes
into it.
You need to come up with an answer.
Can it be like on the computer or like anything? I wasn't actually listening to you when you went through the list.
Preferred app. Which app do you use the most? There's got to be an app. Is it Facebook? Is it Twitter? You're a young kid.
Probably Spotify.
Okay, there you go. So Avery Barton says Spotify. As tough as that was to get out of him, he says Spotify. Certainly not the WMIX Sports app. I'm still waiting on for him to finish, but whatever.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah, it's okay. Took him about long to come up with that as he did an answer there, but that's okay.
It is what it is. Good kid. We like to have him around, so there we go.
Yeah.
Takes
Busy
care of
week.
things. Well, and of course, with me being out of the office yesterday, he took care of things for me as well, and I appreciate him for doing that. It was certainly a busy day out of the office here at WMIX Sports. But we appreciate everybody nonetheless. We appreciate all of you who have accessed this broadcast today. We'll get it up as soon as we can to WMIXsports.com. Don't forget, we are on Facebook, facebook.com/WMIX Sports, or you can give us a follow on Twitter, also at WMIX Sports. Busy broadcast schedule this week, but not as quite as busy as it has been, I suppose. We take the day off on Monday. Not much going on for us. Tuesday, we head to Altough for Rams baseball. Wednesday off. Thursday, head to Cahokia for Rams baseball. And then on Friday and Saturday, we are in Paducah for, you guessed it, Rams baseball. Normal U-High in Bartlett, Tennessee, of course, on Friday. And then on Saturday, it'll be Henderson, Kentucky, and it's at McCracken County High School on Friday. Saturday will be played at Brooks Stadium in Paducah, and so that'll be nice for the Rams to get that test down there. We'll have every pitch of Rams baseball for you here on WMIX and WMIXsports.com. Lady Rams will play Nashville on Saturday in softball action. You can hear that game on our sister station, The V. That's 104.7 FM or V1047.com on your internet browser. Let's see what else we got. WMIX Easter egg hunt going on today. I was told to promote that thoroughly throughout the program. Hope I've done a successful job of that. Registration is at 3:30. First pitch or tip-off or kickoff or the hunt actually begins at 4 o'clock, Veterans Park.
Technically pickup
time.
Pickup egg time is.
Well, if you drop your kids off, be prepared to pick them up about 4:05, 4:10, because when those eggs are dumped and we remove the barricades or
it's over.
Or caution tape or police tape, whatever we have to block people. It does not take long at all. It is mass chaos, and I say this from having no experience with it whatsoever. At all. None. So I'm looking forward to it today. Easter Bunny will be there. I'll get my picture taken with the Easter Bunny, as I like mascots. So that'll be fun. That's Easter Bunny more symbolic in nature than a mascot, I guess. Although really, if you want to go reason for the season, it has nothing to do with the Easter Bunny whatsoever. But that's another show for another time. Certainly not now. But however, thank you again for tuning in today for Danny Zawinski for Avery Barton. We certainly appreciate you for accessing the Saturday Sports Show each and every week, except for next week. We take the day off because of the holiday and because of Rams baseball due to the timing structure down in Paducah. So we'll be back with you on the 26th. We hope you won't miss us too much. We'll have the social media question return on the 26th as well. It'll be a lot of fun. We hope you'll join us. That'll be in 2 weeks. Don't forget Rams baseball all week next week. We'll get the Lady Rams back on after that. Should be a fun few weeks here on WMIX and WMIXsports.com. Cardinal baseball today. They'll have the Chicago Cubs. That'll be on 94.1 FM. Or you can try the Cubs perspective at Wish 98.9. That's Wish 98.9 FM, your home for Chicago Cubs baseball in Southern Illinois. So there you go. One more time, the Facebook.com/WMIX Sports social media question. What is your most used app? I'm surprised we haven't seen as much Twitter or Facebook, especially since you have to get on social media in order to answer our question, but not for everybody. There may be other apps of more importance and apps you may not care to name, but WhatsApp has been a popular choice today. That's a chat-like program. It's kind of like messaging amongst your friends. You should check it out. That's going to do it for us today. WMIX Mount Vernon, NBC News now.